What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome to the Cloud Gaming Extreme channel, your destination for all things cloud gaming. One of my most favourite indie games has finally arrived onto the cloud service being GeForce NOW and the game being Imagine Earth. Let me tell you a little bit about the game while we watch the load time on GeForce NOW, which doesn't take too long, around a minute. Imagine Earth is a real-time planet simulation and build-up strategy game. Our job as the space colony manager is to explore and populate distant planets. We have to build up thriving and profitable colonies on a global scale and trade resources and goods in space. Now, this game had been in early access for around 7 or 8 years, and I have been lucky enough to have been playing it for the last year or so. But now, with a full release, it has arrived on GeForce NOW, so let's jump right in and take a look. First up, we check out what rig we're on, and as you see, I am on the GeForce RTX 2060 rig, which is way overpowered for this game. It is not very demanding at all, as I had been playing it on my local PC. So no matter what rig you are assigned on GeForce NOW, the performance and experience should be absolutely bang on. We will take a quick look at the graphics though, and as you see here, we are in full screen mode, 1920 by 1080. I have the anti-aliasing up as high as it can go, VSync turned on, shadows, bloom effect, depth of field, ambient occlusion and the lights all checked. And now as I watch back the recording, I have no idea why I didn't put the texture details up as high as they can go. Either way, the game looks absolutely beautiful. I love the details and the art style and the graphics. Just an all round really good looking game. So let's jump into the campaign first, and we will do a brief overview of the first tutorial mission, as I don't want to spoil the rest of the game. So first of all, we have to land the core of our very first colony, as you see here, and then we get to name our colony. You can be as creative as you like, or you can just select an automatic name. Now we have initiated our colony, people will start to come, so we have to start thinking about resources, the first of which is food. And depending which type of food you select and where you want to place it will alter the amount of produce. Next up, we have to find an energy source, and in the first instance we use coal, and we have to find an area which has a coal deposit, otherwise it's just useless placing it anywhere else. It will not produce anywhere near enough the amount of energy you require. Next up, we have to produce some goods, as our population need things to buy and to keep them happy. Now, depending which type of goods you wish to use and their placement depends on how much you can produce. For instance, placing stone quarries next to rocky areas, yes, do that. And then placing the woodworking factories next to forestry areas, yes, do that. That's going to up your produce. However, you have to be wary of where you place certain buildings. For example, placing energy power plants next to populated areas will make your little people unhappy. The same can be said for cattle farms for your food production. Depending what upgrades you have on each of these buildings will depend on how happy or unhappy your population will become. By strategically placing your city districts either side of your city centre, you can then upgrade your city centre to level 2, thus granting you a wider area to work with. Now let's take a look at the research panel. By researching certain subject areas, you can upgrade your city centres, your workshops, your buildings, thus making them more efficient. But in some cases, efficiency will cost you more energy consumption and vice versa. There are so many variables to think about. As the game progresses, you will have the opportunity to purchase research licenses rather than waiting for the research to be carried out. As your colony expands, so does your consumption, so keep an eye on your energy, food and goods at the top of the screen there, and always keep them in the green. But you have to make sure you're making enough taxes as well, so keep an eye on your money counter at the top of the screen, also next to your population. A good way of increasing your money income is to mine the natural resources on the land. For instance, we have some gold here that we have to mine, but in order to do so we have to build workshops that contain drones that lift this gold into your inventory. Now the first campaign mission does a good job of explaining the basics and running you through in a logical order, but if you ever forget anything you can pop up the journal from the bottom of the screen here and you can scroll through your full dialogue just in case you might miss anything, as there is an awful lot to take in. So now that we have mined some gold, it's time to sell it, and to sell it we have to build a spaceport, and by building a spaceport merchants will come from far and wide and we can sell and buy products from them, along with tech licenses and other resources as the game progresses. So now that we have the basics down, let's dive into something a little more complex. By harvesting these nitro pumpkins we can then craft them into an explosive device, and this explosive device will allow us to blow up mountains which contains titanium, which we can then sell on the market for a very high price. In order to craft the explosive devices however, we need nitro pumpkins and machine parts, and to get the machine parts we need to build a machine factory. Once we have stored the resources required, we can then go back to the workshop and craft the explosive device, blow up the mountain, harvest the titanium and then sell it, thus making a tidy little profit. Now the campaign missions do become more complex as the game goes on, but as I said, I don't want to spoil too much, but one thing's for sure, you can have a lot of fun in this game as there is so much more to come than what we have went over in this short video today. Okay, I'll give you a little hint. So the further you progress, every now and again you may have to compete with rival companies looking to raid and pillage the planet of all of its natural resources. Some like to keep the peace and you may be able to ally with them if you keep your emissions balance on point. You may also have to think about natural disasters, asteroid strikes and rogue pirate alien ships. So, if you enjoy your real-time strategy games, I can assure you you will not be disappointed with this one. And the thing for me that makes it all the more enjoyable is the fact that this was developed by two guys on their own. Hence the reason why it had been in early access for such a long period of time, but they have done an absolutely fantastic job of it. And with all that being said folks, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you enjoy the game if you decide to pick it up. It only costs around $15–20 on Steam right now, which will be between £10 and £15, and I would say it was worth every penny. So before you run off to buy it, don't forget to drop us a wee like on the video, hit subscribe and ring those bells so you don't miss out on any more great content. Until next time then folks, stay safe and keep on gaming.